knowing your energy of power is so important. And I feel for so many people, their energy is low because they're constantly in low energy spaces. So places like bars and restaurants every day, of course you feel tired, of course you feel exhausted, of course you don't feel energized in the morning. It's probably one of the worst ways to end the day. And we think that it's decompressing. And actually, no, it's just depressing, right? It's like there's no decompression. There's just depression that comes with that because you just get exhausted and your body and your mind are now dealing with what's called cognitive load, because your mind in a bar is not only trying to listen to the person talking to you, your brain is trying to process all the other cluttered sound because it's trying to make sense of it. Now, guess what? Your brain doesn't realize for a long time that there is no sense in it because it's still trying to process. So it's getting drained. And so you have to know what energy you thrive in. And if you need a day to take care of your energy every week, you have to invest in that.
Well, I think answering those questions, like grappling with like, what is the energy in which I thrive? What environment suits me? You know, what is my element? All of this goes back to self-awareness.
Totally, all of it.
You know, I think if you ask most people, what kind of environment do you thrive best in? I would venture to imagine that most people aren't really sure
how
to answer that.
They don't know. And my answer to that is that's what I expect. And that's why I'm encouraging that, because I'm not trying to give you the answers for you because I don't know and I can't know and no one can know. But what I do know is that if you ask yourself the right questions more often, you will very quickly find out, just like everyone knows whether they like Mexican food or not. It's the same thing. It's not complicated. Like, it's really that simple. It's like, you know whether you like Mexican food or not. Okay, you like Mexican food. Do you like burritos or tacos? You know the answer to that. Like, it's not complicated. And it's the same with energy and environment and element. It's just no one's ever asked us. No one's ever asked us, what's your favorite energy, right? Imagine being on a first date and someone goes to you, what environment do you thrive in? No one asks that. Everyone asks, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite movie? Start applying that same questioning to how you live your life. Ask that about people you meet. When you literally, I remember I was given a very interesting offer once by a very wealthy individual. And I remember, and it would have been very lucrative for me. And I remember coming back from that evening and speaking to a very dear friend of mine. And he was like, how did it go? Because I was very excited for that meeting. It was very early in my career. I was very excited for that meeting. I don't think I'd ever met someone of that caliber before. And it was quite a moment for me. So I told him how excited I was. And when I got back, he said to me, like, so how did it go? And I said, I don't think I'm going to work with him. And he was like, why not? It sounds like an amazing opportunity. It's lucrative, everything. I was like, I just didn't vibe with his energy. Like, there was just something about it that just, I didn't feel like, I felt like if I failed, he'd say, I told you so. And if we won, then he'd take the credit. And that's not the kind of partnership I like. I like partnerships which are win-win, where we're supporting each other. And so it's so easy to judge that, but you'll forget that if you don't ask yourself when you walk out. See, when we walk out of parties, we talk about the food and the drink. We talk about what people were wearing. All useless information. We rarely go, do I like hanging out there or do I not like hanging out there? Do I feel energized or do I not? Those are much better questions to ask than, oh, did you like her shoes?
Well, expanding that level of self-awareness to better understand how other human beings operate is incredibly valuable, especially if you're in a relationship. Like if you're somebody who needs solitude, like you said, that doesn't mean that the person that you're with thrives in that dynamic. Like that person may need something different. And being able to grok that will provide you with incredibly powerful and important relationship tools to maintain that relationship. Otherwise, if you're expecting them to process in the way that you do, you're setting yourself up for a lot of problems.
Exactly. So for me and my wife, it's a really good point, Rich. I'm really glad you raised that. For me and my wife, she succeeds and thrives when she's around her friends and family. And I succeed and thrive when I'm on my own or with her, but on my own in terms of a creative way. And so we know that when I want that time, that's when she usually goes back to London and spends time with her family. Or when she wants to go spend time with her family in London or has her friends over here, that's when I'm going to get more time to do that. And so we found that we both require very different things, but we've tried in our relationship to time them, her for me and me for her, time them at the same time so that we both get that. And so I can be traveling alone. Like I just went to New York for a week, but she was here and her friends had moved into our place for a week with her. You know, it's like, it's finding out the things that work, and it's you supporting them to have that environment, and they support you to have your environment.
Right.
Rather than like you saying, oh, well, I like being alone, so you should be okay being alone too. Like, we both know that doesn't work. So.
Yeah. Respecting that, and also understanding that that person has their own independent experience, and being in a place where a healthy place where you're trying to support that person in their own personal self-actualization journey, as opposed to making it like a complement to your own journey. I think it's important, right? Like, it's important to have your independence within a relationship and not be, overly defined by the other person.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, couldn't agree more. And I think with couples, that's the challenge. We look for similarities in likes and dislikes. You know, when you're dating someone or you're meeting someone, you're always like, oh, do we like the same food? Do we like the same things? Do we both like being alone? Do we both like this? And you look for likes and similarities on quite superficial things that are not actually relevant to the quality of a relationship. What's really the heart of the quality of a relationship is, do you have the same likes and dislikes as to how to build a relationship in terms of your values about a relationship?
Yeah, it's about values.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be, my wife and I are completely different in so many ways.
Yeah,
that,
us too.
A lot of people are shocked that that it works. And I mean, we've been together for 20 years.
Congrats,
so
man, that's amazing.
We figured a few things out, but it's because we share core values, even though from a surface perspective, we look very different.
Yeah, and core values, not just from the point of view of the deeper thing that builds you both, but I mean core values of how you view a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Like me and my wife both view a healthy relationship as one where we support each other to reach our own goals. That's a value in a relationship. It's not even just a value. Another value of ours is that we both know that we can trust each other, that we're always acting for each other's benefit, right? That's a value. We both share that. We both share the value of once you sleep on it, it's done. We both have that. So when we've fought about something or we've disagreed about something, when we've gone to sleep, the next day, we're not bringing it back up as ammunition. It's gone. And we both had that value before we met. And so those are relationship values. And that's what you need, values that are similar on, not just values in, oh, we both value spirituality. That's there, but this is a deeper level of that.
Yeah, it's not about avoiding conflict or not arguing or not having fights over things. It's about how you process that and communicate to get to the other side and, minimize the half-life.
Yeah, I mean, John Gottman, whose institute is phenomenal.
He's amazing.
Yeah,
Have you been to the Gottman Institute?
I haven't been yet. I met him at a conference that we both spoke at, and I can't wait to have him on my podcast. But John Gottman's done all the research on relationships, and he talks about the number one skill needed to have a long-lasting relationship is not date nights, it's not walks on the beach, it's not flowers, it's learning how to fight.
Yeah.
And when I read that in his work, I was just like, that is so true. I love that. Because you are going to fight, but most people don't know how to fight. And just as there's love languages, what Gary Chapman so beautifully explained, I believe that there are fight languages. And what I mean by that is there are fight responses or languages that you naturally have. So for example, my wife's fight language is she likes to be quiet, reflect, and think and not talk about things until she processes. My fight language is totally the opposite. I want to figure it out right now. I want to open up, I want to extrapolate, I want to break it down. Guess what? In the beginning of our relationship, that really didn't work because she was quiet. And I was like, why are you quiet? Why are you not telling me what's going on? Have I done something wrong? And I'd be forcing her to share it. And then she would share prematurely and feel like she said something she didn't mean now. And now I'm upset at what I forced her to share with me. And so we really had to learn each other's fight languages. And I've learned that her fight language is better than mine. And so now the approach is she needs space, I need space, and we come back together and discuss it when we're both ready. And it sounds basic, but so many relationship issues occur because people's fight languages don't match.
Mindful fighting.
Mindful fighting, yeah. Fight for love.
Well, fighting is the antithesis of mindfulness in the sense that you're being reactive in the moment. Like something comes over us and we're just spouting whatever, and we're repeating these recursive patterns that are embedded deep within us. And to the extent that you could take a step back and deploy the skills that you learn through meditation and the experiences that you had in this ashram to create distance between your impulse and the next best move. You're taking out an insurance policy for a better outcome.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah. Here are 3 signs you're struggling with a lack of purpose. Number 1, you feel pressure to know what you want to do with your life. Number 2, you've lost interest in your own life and feel disconnected. Number 3, you don't know what your skills are or you feel you lack them. Hope is not lost. You can get through this. Having purpose and meaning in our lives helps guide us through the ups and downs and create structure in our day-to-day life. That's why I've partnered with Calm, the leading app for mental health and wellness. The app has a library with thousands of meditations, songs to help you relax and focus, and sleep stories to help you get a good night's rest. And now you can find the Daily J, a daily series where I'm sharing proven tools and techniques to improve your mindset and mental health in a matter of minutes.